Is your PTO or PTA ready to up their fundraising game? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you an untapped resource that most groups are overlooking, and boy, are they missing out big time. Most groups focus their fundraising on the actual school community. Like they're just looking to the families and teachers and students to support their fundraisers, but they're not getting the larger community involved in any way, and that can be a very costly mistake. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to get local businesses to support your fundraisers so that your PTO can massively profit. And there are multiple benefits to fundraising with this strategy because it just makes sense to involve local businesses because they actually have skin in the game, making sure that their community is strong. And when schools are strong and when schools have funding to do all of the great things that they need to be doing, then the community is stronger as a result. So you really just don't want to be limiting your possibilities by only asking the students and families for financial support. You want to be checking in with the local businesses. So I know you might be thinking like, well, what businesses should I be even looking at? Well, it kind of just depends on what you have available in your city, town, and surrounding areas. Here in Cleveland, I know I am blessed with many different options because we have professional sports teams. So you could totally start there. Now, they will probably not be able to give you a financial donation, but they will give you merch or swag. Sometimes it's signed, and you can go ahead and raffle that off or sell it, auction it off, and raise money that way. So that there's an extra step there. But if you are doing, for example, a raffle basket fundraiser and you need stuff to go in your baskets, then that will be a great option to approach them. The one thing about fundraising with businesses is that it takes extra time. You have to know the right time of the year to approach businesses. Like you don't want to be going in December and the end of the year because they've probably already made all of their financial donations for the year and allocated all of that discretionary income that they have. So me saying this is not trying to be critical of your fundraising strategy, but just realize that if you're only asking for families to participate in your fundraising efforts, then really you're grabbing at the low-hanging fruit, but typically they probably have more shallow pockets than businesses in your area that might have more money set aside to be helping your school community. And part of this is because families only have so much money, and if you have families with more than one kid in the school district, then they are getting hit up multiple times. And so they might be contributing at each time to the fundraisers, but they're not contributing as much as they otherwise would because their contributions being spread out amongst all of the different fundraisers. So as far as what businesses to approach, you want to look at what you have in the area. I mentioned here in Cleveland, of course, we have professional sports. So you're going to want to include those, but you may or may not have that opportunity in your community. So just look at, I would start with the businesses that serve your school community, so the age set. So it could be nail salons, could be hair salons, could be clothing stores, like whatever you have in your area, just go and ask. If you haven't yet approached these businesses, then you haven't even taken the chance, then you're already starting from a place of kind of like a no. Look at who caters to your school and the age set and as well as the family. So it could be local gyms. I have made the mistake before of saying that insurance companies won't donate, and someone called me out for being wrong on that. And I was like, you're right. That is a good source to try. So the next step in engaging local businesses in your fundraising efforts to support your PTO or PTA is to draft a letter, because most businesses are going to need like some documentation of what they are giving money for. They're just not going to open up their wallet and hand you a wad of cash or write you a check without this information. So you want to include in the letter kind of who you are, what you're asking for, like why you need it, how it's going to benefit them. Definitely if you are 501c3 or not, since contributions to 501c3 organizations are tax deductible. If you are not a 501c3, then the contributions from businesses aren't going to be tax deductible. So businesses might want to have that tax advantage. So that just might factor in. If you are like wondering, I don't even know how to draft this letter, Christina, then you're going to want to check out the template that is included in the Fundraising Success Kit. That's just one of many form templates that's available to help you with your fundraising to boost your profits and decrease the amount of time that you're spending to bring in that money. I will drop a link to that resource in the description below, so be sure to check that out if that is some kind of support that you are looking for. So the next consideration that you need to make is how you're going to be delivering the ask that is your letter. So I have had a really good success with going in and meeting with local businesses and actually making the ask in person. So I just take a copy of the letter along with me, and when my kids were younger, I would bring them with me and say, hey, this is exactly who's going to be benefiting from your donation. How could you possibly say no to this cute little smiling kid? It is a strategy that works, so don't discount that. And I think it's a valuable lesson for your kids too, because they're learning to ask for things and communicate in a way that is good to like form a relationship with someone else. So it's a good life skill to have, and it teaches them that it's just not mom or dad doing all of the work for PTO stuff, that they can get involved in too. After you've delivered the letter, if the owner was not there, make sure to leave it with the manager and ask them to pass it along to the owner. If you were delivering it by email or if you were mailing it in, you want to give some time for the letter to be received, for them to consider it. And then I'd say 2 or so weeks, then definitely be following up, send a follow-up email. Hopefully in your first visit, you've asked when the owner is going to be in. Since the owner or the manager is going to be the prime decision maker for financial contributions, then you're definitely going to want to make sure that they are in receipt of the information that employee without those kind of decision-making capabilities isn't filtering out your request. So make sure to get it into their hot little hands and then follow up with them. The riches are in the follow-up. If you don't get a donation right away, then just make sure to do that secondary ask and follow up, because that's when a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, that fell off my to-do list, but here you go. Thanks for coming back. You will get that kind of a response when you follow up politely and respectfully and give them enough time to have considered the request in the first place. That's pretty much the whole strategy of how you are going to be working with local businesses to get them involved. I do have a blog post that goes into a little bit more detail about this. So I will again drop that link in the description below. So be sure to check that out if you're looking for a little bit more information. But the bulk of the main concept I've totally explained in this video. And so before we go, I'm really curious to hear if you've had success with this type of fundraising strategy. I would so love for you to comment to let us know how it went for you so we can learn from one another. The other thing is that I so hope that you enjoyed this video. If I am always covering different topics that pertain to PTO and PTA life. So if you love this one, I hope that you will join me for that. Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All of these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.